The following program is hosted by immature, irreverent, obnoxious, and often disgusting young men. Listener discretion is advised.
This time on Nude Clan, what have you guys been playing this month?
Shall we play a game?
You've got several things to do. You've got work, kids in school. What do you do when it's all over?
How do you hand something from one player to another?
Turn on the TV, pick up the controller and play some games with the new clan.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Nude Clan, the video game podcast that loves playing old games where you can't, or when you lose, you got to start from the very beginning. I'm your host, Caleb Schweiss.
I'm Joe.
I'm A4.
And today, we won't be talking about that game, but we will in a way. We're going to talk about what we've been playing this month, what we've been up to. Probably waste a bunch of time talking about nothing. And,
No, we've got something actually very important to talk about.
We do have something very important to talk about.
I have cancer.
I'm trans.
Oh, so you're just going to step on Caleb's cancer with your
Yeah.
identity?
Yeah, how dare you? I
Caleb-
identify as a dying person.
Look, we all know that pronouns are more important than cancer, okay?
Yeah, cancer's old news. That's true. That's true.
Cancer.
I don't-
Cancer's so
Can't
1996.
Can't say.
Can ma'am. I identify it's can ma'am.
Can you do the can?
I can't.
Uh,
I don't have cancer.
yeah.
So just
Schweiss doesn't have cancer. That we know
A4
of.
is trans though. So
Yeah. And,
Neither of those we know for sure yet. So
I could I might, yeah, you never know.
something super important to talk about.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
I'm going to let Mom handle this.
Joe is not gay. No,
Sorry.
so
I'm sorry. I was
he's
lying.
doing it for clout all these
so
years.
many years.
yeah. Joe's not gay, A4's not a Jew. I don't have cancer. All right. It's all been a lie. One big, long stream of lies.
It's all been a pack of lies. Ba-doom, 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 boom.
That's all the show's built on. But one truth is that, and guys, I know we said this before, but we are going to end the show. Now, what that means... Thank you, Redrick, for your money.
Oh, man.
Is that on purpose?
I don't think so. Yeah.
No, I think that was just maybe the most hilariously timed thing.
Yeah, sub on Twitch. That's awesome. So here's the thing, guys. Joe and I are getting older, and with age comes responsibility and a lack of desire to play video games all the time. Now, that doesn't mean we're done doing any other projects or anything like that. We have some things down the pipeline that we want to do. We haven't committed to it, obviously, because we haven't revealed it, and I won't do so right now. But it's getting harder and harder to make time for these games. And it's not that we don't enjoy the social aspect of gaming, because when we have a night off, we try to play something together, and it's a lot of fun. But that's not always necessarily the thing that we should be playing, right? So
It's always Phasmophobia, which
always-
we've already reviewed.
yeah, it's always Phaz.
Every single time.
No matter what, even when we're like, oh, we're done with Phaz, we like look at it and it's like, well, I guess we could play Phaz. They did just do a big update, so it's all it's all new now.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Nice
yeah.
and shiny.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
Hold on. I posted this in a couple Discord server, the stream, and the one guy just says, "We are going to end the show. This is the first episode I've watched."
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of great stuff in the backlog. though,
Yeah.
just so you know.
We've been going for 400 episodes or so.
Yeah,
so.
since
I can say as a person who was a fan of this show before I became a host, this is a good show. You should go back and listen.
Yeah.
But
2016.
Am I speaking out of am I speaking out of turn when I say like this doesn't necessarily mean that like we might not do another video game podcast in the future, maybe with like a different
theme?
format where we don't have to like beat games necessarily?
Maybe.
I have. This is host dependent on that.
Well, yeah.
So for me, almost definitely no.
Well,
With no promises that I won't go back on my word there.
you don't play video games as it is, so I kind of figured that was the case. But I mean,
I do play a shitload of video games, but we have different standards.
14 expansions don't count.
Yeah. How many days of gameplay time?
Yeah, a lot. It's
Anyway.
like a month almost. But yeah, it's just becoming a lot, and we don't really think it's fair to our families, our lives, ourselves to play Earthworm Jim for 15 hours and then get to the final zone, and it's a real pain in the ass, and then you got to start all over again. I'm like, look, I just can't do this. I'm sorry, it's too much.
Yeah, this has been tough because like
This is your fault, Feliciano Miko. Fucking Earthworm Jim broke twice.
Yeah, it's over now.
Yeah, I came back into the show, and the idea was like, okay, this show will go on forever, and then I gotta admit, like 5 months ago, because we've been mulling over this for a while.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah,
say,
this
I would
isn't
say
like a
it's-
new thing.
Yeah, it's been going on behind the scenes for a long time. It's like the first thing was when we came back, it was like, or when I came back, and A4 joined the show. It was kind of like, okay, how can we make a format where we are less pressured to do? And we basically did. This
Yeah.
is the less pressured, less insane.
Well, yeah, because this is
version of
also in the
Nuke
wake
Man.
of. This is also in the wake of Cameron and Craig leaving for the same fucking reason.
Yeah,
Yeah, those
Ca-
pussies.
yeah. Cameron and Craig
They left 2 years early.
They left, and it was because, well, at least for Cameron, that he felt like he didn't have enough
Yeah,
time to play
with
video
Craig,
games.
he's got one of those bingo ball rollers, and he has a bunch of different excuses, and then he rolls it and then pulls out whatever one for the day. But
Dude, my sciatica's acting up.
oh yeah, oh no, he did complain about his carpal tunnel, and I'm like, dude, shut the fuck up. Cuphead is hard. It's just hard. You're just being a bitch. It's not carpal tunnel. It's a bitch of a game, okay? Not everyone's a freak like A4 or Chase and can beat it in 10 hours. It's hard.
I'm sorry that I'm good at video games. This is the thing that God decided to do with my life, and I'm using it.
Yeah, and so we're basically ending his life right now is what we're doing. We're murdering A4.
When the last episode will be a murder suicide.
Yeah, it'll be a cut to the camera of A4, and he like just jumps out his window.
Oh, that's
No, they fly out to Pennsylvania and they like on a grainy like you guys bring your camera, but you make it somehow grainier, and then like it's like Taliban style. You behead me.
Yeah. Like, why did we behead him? We were the ones that ended the show. I don't know.
Schweiss learns how to speak Arabic or whatever that language is, just so he can be like.
glad we're out of the show, so I have to be around less
That translates to
less insensitive
die.
shit.
die, you lecherous pig.
Like 1/5 of the world speaks Arabic, and A4 just fucking.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Way to go.
Hey,
That's
okay,
right.
that's
I mean, you were making fun of
20%
is
is not a lot. 20% is a failing grade.
We could take
I'm just saying.
that 20%. Come on.
Yeah, we got him.
We got him. Yeah. We'll pull them all out of the desert.
I can barely speak English, Joe. Come on.
No, I mean, yeah, this has been tough because, like, there was a certain point, I would say almost a year ago, like, it was like, okay, how do we do this? We're dealing with other shit. We got family shit.
Yeah.
I remember we had to, like, for those out you who are big fans of this show, you know, we really appreciate you, and we were thinking of you, and I was like trying to like, okay, how can we do the show in a way that's really like is a way that the show will grow and become a different thing that we would be happy to do and put a lot of work in and maybe double down on.
Yeah.
We did flirt with those ideas for a long time.
Yeah. And
It's like this. We're in like this like weird midpoint where it's either like give the options, the viable options are either give up or like make this our job essentially.
yeah, and it's not that we don't want to do that. It's that one of the hosts definitely isn't interested in that, and he's not here today. But if you couldn't tell, it's Zach, and that's fine. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
fine.
Spoilers.
If you don't want to go, if you want to be a bitch, that's okay by me. But it's hard because this is really a 4-man project, because right now we're doing the easy mode of the podcast, and it's
Yeah.
kind of a pain in the ass still, like with all the games, because I'm like, dude, this game says it's 4 hours. I spent like fucking 12. I can't fucking do this, man. I got shit
It's not
to
even
do.
an RPG.
I got a
and even
wife
for the
to
people
fuck.
who are playing RPGs, like Joe, I'm sure we'll hear later, is having a hell of a time. So
Yeah. And I gotta fuck my wife. Like this is the only time I can fuck her, and she for sure
you
won't
don't
get
gotta
pregnant
fuck your wife.
because she's already pregnant. That's the only. I mean, the last time I was lied to about you can't get pregnant when blah blah blah. So maybe this is a lie too. Maybe she just
Schweiss, I
fucking-
think in your specific
clenches it back up.
scenario, you don't have to fuck your wife. You can put a personal ad out in the paper and get a bull to come do that for you, so you have more time to play with Rum Jim.
Yeah. Come
I
on.
mean, that's true. I could probably get that, but look,
It's like a win-win. You get to play more video games, and your wife gets to have a dick more than 4 inches in her. It's
yeah, that does sound like a win for her. But like seriously though, it has been really hard to come to, and it's difficult because there's still that pull in the back of my mind is like, well, what if we don't give up? What if we keep going? And it's hard because we had this idea, and in the very beginning we tried to do this with the original crew, and we had some success. We had some failures we didn't realize until about 3 years later, as far as the tax situation goes. But so I'm super pumped they got all these new IRS
the
agents.
final
so that'll be
boss of
fucking
Nude
fun.
Clan. The final boss of Nude Clan is just the IRS.
Yeah,
we have all the money that we
yeah.
might or might not owe to the government.
But it would be out of us too. So, but we are covered for us.
Yeah,
once
we
that-
are,
If
yeah.
if in case for some reason they decide to look into
Either of
us
us
for a reason,
Yeah. If any 4 of the owners of Nude Clan get audited,
yeah. Right as
Yeah.
we say that, the door gets kicked in and a flashbang goes off.
we
I
do.
just fucking run.
we do have the money for it. But no, yeah, it's tough because at the beginning of the show, right? Yeah, us the 4 guys, Caleb, Cameron, Joe. All 4 of us, okay. UFF is doing really well. We're like, okay, let's make a business out of this thing. It was a big how do, right?
Mhm.
Like we made like a big plan. We made a business for it, and then we're like, okay, we're gonna do a big video game podcast. We're gonna be able to pull like this stuff. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. Each of us decides we're gonna do a job having to do with the show, and then over time, some of it, a couple of people in the thing quite quickly. Certain duties were not fulfilled. Certain duties were not fulfilled, and then let's say there's two of the 4 hosts doing most of the work.
Yeah. And one of them not even doing that much either. So
And their names are Cameron and Caleb.
yeah.
That's why the show
That's why
sucks
they had
now,
the-
because they left and they
Yeah.
were doing all the work.
Yeah. Heavy
and,
lifters.
And what happens is like when you're in that situation, you start getting like pretty resentful. Like it's a band, but we wanted it to be like, okay, we put in an equal amount of effort so that we can all kind of like.
You guys are the Paul and John,
It's-
and they
yeah.
were the Ringo and the George.
Who's the Ringo though?
Probably Craig. I don't know.
I don't know. So they, that's how it started, and then eventually, like, not that long after that, it seemed like that wasn't the case.
Yeah.
And then other priorities with me, I can't speak for Caleb Schweiss or anything like that, but other priorities with me started getting in the way, and I was putting less effort into it than I should have. There were a couple times where I decided to put in a bunch of effort for like a month and then had to back down for some reason. And so it's kind of the same situation now, but the podcast, even in its like phase now where it's not that pressured or nearly as pressured, it's like still taking a bunch of time.
yeah.
And we're not getting
Because it's like we want to put out a high quality product, which takes a lot of production time, but we're not seeing a lot of returns for it. And a lot of that might just be like algorithmic bullshit because the show has the word nude in the title.
yeah.
So that might not help.
Yeah.
We've discussed changing the name before and stuff. It's been like a whole thing.
Yeah.
I literally went out of my way to start like taking the word nude out of like all the tags on YouTube and the descriptions and all this shit. Probably doesn't matter because it's still in the channel name, but I mean, like, I'm trying.
It helps.
So
Yeah, and I
trying to make the most like clickbaity fucking thumbnails possible. And for some reason, the only one that ever worked was Joe jerking off with his legs up in his car, looking at Arnold Schwarzenegger because it got picked up by like the people who search for naked news somehow.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
We got a whole like 1,000 views on that episode, so real
Yeah.
good stuff.
Yeah, our issue has been just like growing an audience. The
Yeah.
New Clan audience has stayed even for years.
And we love you guys. Like
We
it's
do
a
love you
really
guys.
good
Yeah.
community. It's a good intimate
I think of
community.
you all when I have sex, just so you know.
But like, yeah, the show is not.
Especially you, Redrick.
It's not going anywhere, and it makes
It's
it,
plateauing
it-
essentially.
It makes it, and it has been for a while.
Yeah,
And it
it's
makes it really frustrating to just like put so much time into something where nothing is changing, and it's like either we change, or yeah, that's
yeah, and it's
what you were talking about.
and
earlier.
it's hard because it is something where I think about like G4, they're firing everybody. Thank God, all the super shitty woke losers they're firing. So like,
well, they didn't
people are
fire
tired.
her, but she left like right after that happened anyway. So it's
didn't they
like,
fire her?
whatever.
I thought they did.
I have no fucking
They just didn't
clue. I
fire
think
her
they
right
fired
away.
Sessler too.
Are you serious?
Seriously, yeah, no, he's like mad about it.
What?
So,
That's like the only point of that thing coming back. Well, then
Well,
it's dead. It's over.
most people would have said that even before that relaunch. Just
Yeah.
that the idea of that, but that's whatever.
So there's a place for us to reasonable gamers ripping into super stupid games, right?
okay.
But it's like impossible to grow. It's crazy, and like I don't know, and
It's not impossible,
it's not impossible, but it's really hard.
but
it's not impossible, and
we
like,
had to
I
decide
think-
that we were not willing to go the distance that it needs to be.
And even with one of us not willing to do it, that
Yeah.
means it can't happen. Because you're
No.
right,
Yeah.
we will
It-
become resentful, and it'll be like, well, fine, it's our thing, and we'll just be, we'll treat him like the minority he is if we
doing
went down
doing
that
a
path.
podcast. Doing a podcast really is like being in a band where you really do get into these weird creative scuffles, and it just like over petty bullshit over the years, like and resentments build up over time. So
Yeah, especially for
maybe
something as
avoiding
silly
for
as
us, like
this,
maybe
yeah.
avoiding that is
Yeah.
possibly the best scenario.
Yeah, I
'Cause,
mean,
it will happen. I mean, fucking, you guys beat the shit out of each other apparently one time over UFF. So
it wasn't over.
It wasn't over UFF.
what you know what I mean though.
But I
Like,
mean, and it's most of our stuff is all fun, like Catherine Gate and all of Craig's administration and his conspiracies and his scandals. Those are mostly us just giving him shit. But that stuff does bug me. Like when I beat Cuphead the first time, that seriously took me like 30 plus hours.
I mean, you
and then
you-
we didn't
you
even
had to,
beat it. And we didn't
you
review
had
it for
to-
2 years.
You had to message us about like your Earthworm Jim cartridge glitching out because you beat the final boss and then it puts you back to like the second level in the game. And
Yeah.
you're asking like, is this beat? And I'm like, I mean, yeah, you beat the final boss. I don't see why it wouldn't be, but you
Yeah.
had to make sure.
I mean, I did
'cause
cheat
That's
to get
that's something
there.
you care about.
I did cheat
So-
to get there, though, to be fair.
I cheated to get there too. Who gives a fuck?
Yours didn't glitch. What did you play it on? The Genesis?
The Genesis Mini, yeah.
Ah, you bitch. It's on the Mini.
It has
oh my
it
God.
has
It's
the
on
ability to
Mini.
do save states.
There's so few
Yeah.
games that are good on the Genesis. that they
We
put
literally
Earthworm-
talked about this last time.
Well, I'm going to talk about it again.
Earthworm Jim 2, the Genesis Mini 2 that's coming out this month. Earthworm Jim 2 is on it.
It should
so.
only have sequels, and I know I said that last time too, but I'm going to say it again.
No, the Genesis Mini 2 has Sega CD stuff on it, which will be cool.
Oh, that's nice.
But it's
Nah.
exclusive to like Amazon Japan. There's an American version of it, but I had to buy it through like Amazon Japan to get fucked on shipping. But whatever, I'm getting it this month, so
Wow.
that'll be neat.
There you go.
Okay.
Play your 3 games that are on there.
Hey man, I love the Sega Genesis. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We basically had to decide, okay, because yeah, we could rebrand the show. I'll be honest, I'm not interested in doing anything that's at a low quality for anything new. Creatively, I'm just not that interested in doing it.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, if we're gonna do Nude Clan the right way, it would have to be multi-camera setup,
Yeah, you want like a
all
whole
this
studio
post-production stuff,
Mhm.
clips made for YouTube, regular full videos, whole setup, right? and stuff that I would have dreamed about years ago, but has just been hammered in further and further. I obviously now I work for a company that has a medium-sized YouTube channel, and all the stuff I've learned doing that. Wanted to put it into what we do here, but just knowing the amount of effort that would take, and knowing that it would fall on only one or two of us to do all that work, like Schweiss would say, like not all four of us would be willing to do that or would want to put in that much time and effort just into the show part, not to mention how the length of the games, which is the other
problem.
giant aspect about this. You basically like, okay, we either double down or we fold.
It's like
we decided
it's
to
almost like the
fold.
reason. It's almost the reason that like game journalists kind of hate video games, because they're forced to play these massive. Because video games are a gigantic time sink.
They are.
When you really think about it, like just the amount of hours. A movie you can knock out in an hour and a half, 2 hours. A TV show maybe 10. Video games, like it's usually 10 on average, and like when you add in JRPGs and like open world shit, that ceiling raises significantly. So it makes sense that reviewing video games is a bit of a tricky fucking business indeed.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm trying to get like all the platinums and Final Fantasy and like.
Well,
if
that's
I'm-
like a you.
Yeah, it's a me
like you
thing.
problem.
Yeah, but like that's the thing is I gotta have time. I gotta have me time.
Yeah.
And it's hard to
I gotta have me
justify-
time so that I don't have a single thing on my trophy list that isn't 100%, like some kind of
Exactly.
lunatic.
Yeah, so like it's hard to do that because those are the things that I look forward to that I want to do. It's not that I enjoy grinding in 14, but I'll do it to get that 14 platinum because it looks fucking bitchin'. But like it's hard to try to make time for that on the side because it's such a time-based thing right now, especially with like the Lev quests. And then also have this, and then also have the game for Ultima, and then also have all this other shit going on. It's just becoming a lot. We will, however, make do on all of our promises, all the things we owe. Those will be delivered.
Yep.
Guest
we've-
episodes, forced entries, all that jazz.
We only owe
Yeah.
one guest episode, as far as I know.
Yeah, and I've messaged.
This is a good part to talk about this stuff. So, if you believe that you are owed a forced entry, or if you believe that you are owed an episode invite, and you have not been reached out to by Caleb through Patreon Messenger, please get onto Patreon and message us through Patreon Messenger. That, and we can look into it because Patreon's back end has changed throughout the years, so there's a possibility. And I figured this with Godzilla too, like the Patreon manager just sucks now in comparison to what it
Yeah.
used to. And so
Yeah.
like our ability to see like, oh, you paid this much of this, I have to really dig. It used to be like a big, huge spreadsheet of like what everybody did, but now it's like I have to go into individual people's stuff. So if you believe that you are owed this and you haven't gotten it by being a Patreon supporter of ours throughout the years, please let us know. Once again, through Patreon, not through any other, through any other thing. We don't want to lose. We don't want to lose things in a pile of papers. Like, please message us through Patreon.
And
So-
who's do we have so far?
Okay. The forced entries that we owe, we will not end this show until all the forced entries are complete, by the way.
Yeah.
And so I believe at the end of this episode, you guys can go onto Twitter and there will be a bunch of games to be voted on. And we're basically going to build the majority of the list of games that we have left to beat for this show through that. So, Kick Nick.
Are we gonna start doing the other thing too, or do you want to not talk about that right now?
We can talk about that next.
What's the other
Okay,
thing?
all right.
Kick Nick, forced entry. Riathmus, forced entry. Felicia Nomiko, we owe a second entry to.
Mm-hmm.
Jared Carpino, forced entry. DK Asuna, a second forced entry for DK Asuna. Fringe Philosopher, forced entry. And then Zannenberger, forced entry. Those are the forced entries we believe that we owe. If you believe otherwise, you have a month to get that, to message us in Patreon. And then we owe one Patreon invite that we know of. Schweiss says he has gone into Patreon and messaged people and didn't get responses, or have people decide that they didn't want to be on the show. That's fine. I believe next month we have scheduled to have Fringe Philosopher come onto the show, and they are the only person that
Nice.
I'm aware of that we owe an episode invite to. So
Was Fringe on before? Because like,
No, he's played
Rich has
with
been around
us.
for a long time.
He's played with us though.
Right?
So-
yeah.
So yeah,
So that'll be good. That'll be a long time coming.
if you were in the Patreon, we're not all those like Patreon tiers, by the way, those are shut down now. We're still doing the drawings. We'll have a drawing at the end of this month, by the way. We'll have two because we didn't do last month. And we're still doing that. And but as far as like new forced entries, new episode invites, we're shutting down those tiers. They've already been shut down.
Yeah.
But if you believe you are owed it, you have 1 month. So by the end of October, you need to message us in Patreon and at least say something.
Yeah,
so that
I
we
mean,
can start dealing
and
with
we can get you in there. It'll be easy because with this, the last few games are going to take us a few months, so we have time,
it. Yeah.
and we'll
yeah.
have episodes.
So stay tuned at the end of this episode for a giant list of games to pick from, and get onto our Twitter at New Clan Podcast, and you can vote on those games. Okay, A4, do you want to talk about the second thing that we are doing?
Yeah, so Joe posed this really good idea of all 4 hosts basically get to nominate their own 4 like bucket list games, and then we'll have the listeners vote on those too, and then every host basically gets like one bucket list game that we all get to review,
Yeah, so it'll be
like essentially like the final Uber games. Yeah,
Yep. So the final Uber games, 3 out of 4 of us have put a list down. Schweiss apparently only reads the last 3 messages sent in the New Clan chat.
Hey,
And
it's better
therefore-
than the last
And
one.
therefore, I have a feeling that he might not even know what we're talking about right now.
Look, I'm 3 times. I'm 3 times better than I used to be. Plus, I already know what my list is going to be. So.
Oh, you know your list.
Mhm.
Okay, you didn't put your list in. So
No.
Zach gave us a list. I don't remember. A4, did you give us a list?
I have a
know-
list. Yeah,
Okay. So all 4 of us have a list then of our bucket list games, and those are going to be treated like Uber games. So we're saying we're ending the show, but this might take
A few months.
it might take a few months.
yeah,
Yeah.
We're just ending it when we actually beat all the games that we're supposed to.
yeah.
We
But again,
also-
like we want to make
also wanna
we want
do
to
an
make
Uber-
good on.
Yeah, we want to make good. You're right.
yeah. We're not gonna leave the Patreon people high and dry. That would be fucked up.
Yeah. So that's the plan. Stay tuned again for the end of this episode when we are going to announce all the fucking games that we're
So TLDR show is going to end, but we're not ending it for a while yet because we still got some stuff to check off. So you got plenty of New Clan in your future for the time being.
Yep. So what have you been playing, A4?
I've been playing a bunch of shit. I think I talked about it on because we like came back and recorded some episodes mid-September due to like time constraint shit. But I talked about playing Spider-Man Remastered on PC because I had not played Spider-Man PS4 yet, and that thing runs fucking gloriously on my computer. Like 120 FPS, like really good resolution. But that game's awesome. I mean, I figured it would be because it's Insomniac and they make really good games. But yeah, it's easily the best Spider-Man game ever.
Which
Uh,
what year did this one come out? Do you remember?
2018.
20. Okay.
I wanna
yeah,
say
so it's that one.
originally.
All right.
Yeah, it just only got put on Steam like a couple months ago.
Okay.
And then I think they're also putting Miles Morales on PC in a couple months. So that'll be cool.
Cool.
Yeah, that game's really good. Surprising nobody. I've also been playing a bunch of like other miscellaneous shit. I started up Cyberpunk 2077 again because of Cyberpunk Edge Runners, the Netflix anime, which is really good, by the way.
So all I heard last time was that they like shut down Cyberpunk 2077. What has happened since then?
What do you mean shut down Cyberpunk?
They shut it down on the
2077?
store.
I
on
thought
the
it shut it
PlayStation
down on the
store.
PlayStation Store.
So glitchy and shitty.
Oh yeah, I don't know about the consoles. I've been playing it on PC, but
Mm.
I reinstalled it because I think it might be stable enough now that it's back on the consoles. I couldn't tell you,
Oh, okay.
but I reinstalled it because the anime was good and it made me want to play it. I'm like, all right, fuck it, I'll reinstall it. So I played like a little bit of the opening part. It's interesting so far. Like it's the gunplay's actually, it feels pretty good from like the few shots I took. But there's like there's a bunch of different ways to play that game. You can like hack people and things, and there's hand-to-hand combat and whatnot. I've like barely scratched the surface of Cyberpunk. This is mostly just so I could say that watch Cyberpunk Edge Runners on Netflix. It's really good. And I've also been playing Celeste because that was the thing that won the poll last time. And
Nice.
that is a really good game with characters and story I could not possibly give a shit about.
Okay. Okay. All right.
The gameplay is really tight. It's really solid.
What kind of a game is
I-
it?
It's a platformer. It's
Oh, okay.
if I was going to talk about like what kind of platformer it is, it reminds me a lot of like Super Meat Boy, and then it's like a really tough as nails platformer that's like very skill based.
Oh man, what is up with our audience now? It's either fucking 90-hour RPGs
Or cunt games.
or like
No,
asshole
Celeste.
games.
Celeste was like super. Celeste was super fucking popular when it came out a few years ago. Like it was pretty much universally praised for its gameplay, even though it was hard as shit.
Would you
It's
call...
got a lot of like.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's got like a lot of accessibility options and stuff. So like the difficulty of that game is very modular. I'm just playing it like how it's meant to be played, though. I'm playing like just the regular version of
You
it.
sound like a purist when you say that. Is that true?
Yeah, I'm a purist.
Stay
because,
tuned for
that
our
game-
Earthworm Jim episode later on
Yeah, purity.
this month.
Purity
Yeah.
redefined. Hey,
purity until I don't feel like it. No, but I like. No, because like the difference between like something like Earthworm Jim and something like Celeste is that like Celeste being made in the modern day means that like it's a lot more forgiving in its toughness. Like
yeah.
there's like you're basically getting like a checkpoint every single screen in Celeste.
Would you
Whereas in
call...
Earthworm Jim,
Would
you
you
know,
call
it's not the case.
Earthworm Jim and Cuphead platformers?
I mean, Earthworm Jim, yeah, they're both platformers. It's weird because like Cuphead feels more almost like a. I mean, it's definitely a platformer, but due to Cuphead's emphasis on the boss fights, it
doo-doo.
feels much more of like a run and gun type game than anything.
Yeah, bullet hell. Earthworm
I don't know if I
Jim's
call it a
little...
bullet hell,
Yeah.
but like, yeah,
Earthworm Jim's a
it's-
little that way
it's-
too. They're kind of similar in their both.
yeah. But Earthworm
cunty-
Jim is definitely more of like a platformer because like it's not all boss fights. There's like levels you're traversing, and you have to like figure out where to go. Whereas like Cuphead only has like 5 of those levels, like
Yeah.
overall.
Yeah, that's true. It's platformy in it.
And
that
they're
you have
even
to-
those levels, like there's barely any branching paths. They're highly linear.
Yeah, I mean, with Cuphead, it's platforming because while you're doing the fights, you're platforming constantly.
Yeah, like it
This
is
is
it is at the like it is at its bare essence a platformer, but it's like not really a platformer.
Yeah, this is a fight I had with
Um,
Craig, who didn't beat the game, so his opinion doesn't count. But I was telling
Like
him,
I would even consider Mega Man more of a platformer than Cuphead, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it probably
there's actually
is.
levels you have to go through before you get to the boss fight, whereas most of Cuphead is just here's a boss, kill him.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
pretty much the entirety of the game, other than
Yeah, but
here's a world
like
to explore.
Celeste is tough, but gameplay and control wise is very tight. Like if I die in Celeste, it's my fucking fault.
Yeah, it's not because you
I just
have a
like the story. I just don't care about the story so far because it's about this girl climbing a mountain, and the whole time she's like, I don't know if I could do it. Blah blah blah. Like it's very clearly one of those stories where it's like it's about anxiety and depression, and it's like I don't care.
Like, just
I
climb the
don't
mountain,
care.
you fucking fat bitch.
No, I mean it's like, dude, I fucking like.
Shut up and climb.
It's one of those like. I'm gonna get shit for saying this, but I don't know how else to describe it. It's one of those like Tumblr games where it's written like a Tumblr person wrote it. Like everyone is such like a standoffish asshole for like little petty shit, and it's just like I don't care about these characters at all. I don't like any of them.
Yeah, sounds similar to a recent scenario that happened over at my place. But yeah, even the name is.
The game is good. Like the game is worth playing. But here's the thing. I knew I would like the gameplay of this game way back when it came out, but I could just tell from the vibe of like the art style and like the characters. I like just watching clips on like YouTube. I'm like, I don't think I'm going to like this game for its story. The gameplay's probably good, but I don't feel any compulsion to play it. And now I have to.
Yeah.
Like now I have an excuse, and I was totally fucking right.
Just give me an excuse.
Yeah, I mean, like again, I'm having fun
Yeah.
playing it. It's just like anytime a story thing comes up, it's just like, all right, mash the A button.
This
I don't
was
care.
Indie Game of the Year a few years ago, right?
Yeah, like this game got super fucking popular. Yeah, it won like a bunch
First
of awards for indie
mistake.
games and stuff, and for good reason. Again, like the gameplay is super fucking solid. It's just that story thing is not going to have a high score for me when we get to the review of this thing. That's for damn sure.
Must face her inner demons in her quest to reach the summit.
Gross.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Nasty.
It's a little simplistic.
That's some. Her summit
It's
is
not
that-
even that it's not even that it's simplistic. It's just like there's this vibe that it gives me. It gives me that very I'm trying not to describe it the way that my brain is telling me to describe it because Joe's gonna yell at me. But like, this game gives off a vibe. I knew it was gonna give off a vibe, and I was right about it giving off that vibe, and I don't like that vibe.
Okay.
So, yeah.
You know, it sounds like when she reaches her summit, we're gonna get a little bit of that.
It feels very Gone Home-ish, if that description works for you guys.
I mean, I think it sounds like when she reaches that summit, she's gonna be releasing some of that tubby custard.
Ooh.
If I know anything about this.
Oh yeah.
main
Well, I mean, I
character.
did some research. I did some research
Slow
about the
down.
game and the creator of the game, and let's just say that vibe is definitely justified considering
Who
who
made
made
it?
it. And
Yeah.
yeah, well, we'll get to that in the review eventually.
Yeah, we will. And then Joe can yell at you. Then don't make him
Yes.
yell at you any more than he has to.
Let's just say this game is pretty much a trans allegory, and I mean that like as literally as possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, see, Joe yells at us when we say things aren't trans allegories.
yeah, that's what I get.
No, but this one actually is.
Yeah.
Like, unlike the Matrix, this actually is a trans allegory. So
I-
All right.
okay.
yeah.
I'm not even gonna. I ran out of the will.
He's fought this battle before.
I'm done.
Or you know what? No, I guess I can also say, like the Matrix, this is a trans allegory, but way after the fact. So
Ah, I see.
yeah,
Hmm.
but maybe we'll get to that review in November because I'm on like chapter 4 out of like 8.
Okay.
Oh,
So,
nice. And Zach, it's
yeah.
you and Zach, right?
Yeah, although like the
Yeah.
chapter 3 took me like an hour, whereas the other ones took me like 20 minutes. So we'll see. We'll see how long the other chapters take me.
Sounds
Oh,
like
You
yeah.
guys said it was an
Yeah.
8-hour game, and I didn't believe
Yeah.
you, and I'm like, okay, maybe though.
Some games you play episodes or chapters, and it seems like the time in which to complete each episode and chapter doubles literally.
Do you have a? Do you have a? Is this in relation to something, Joe?
It
Like
might
maybe what
be,
you've
it
been playing
might
this
be.
month.
It might be, but you know,
Because that's basically all I've been playing.
that's all you've
yeah.
been playing. Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been playing a game called Chronicles of Chroniclealia Valkyries.
Valkyrie.
Valkyrie, that's a Valkyrie.
Oh man, we're gonna talk.
That's a
We're gonna be talking a lot about Valkyries in the next fucking
So much-
episode.
So much Valkyrie talk this month. Believe
Yeah.
it. Just look forward to it.
Hmm.
No, I've been playing Valkyria Chronicles.
Messenger of the gods.
Is the game narrated by like? Is the game narrated by like dollar store Danny Trejo or?
Yeah.
It feels like that guy was like a pro wrestler. And I
Yeah.
swear to God, he must be famous for something else. Because why the fuck? Because he's not a very
Is
good
he
actor.
famous? Is he famous for wearing mesh tank tops?
Yeah. I started this.
That's a Valkyrie
He-
right there.
My joke for him is
This is gonna be funny to you guys in exactly 2 weeks.
yeah. Yeah.
Just watch the movie Max Payne. You'll get it.
Yeah.
No, so Valkyria Chronicles is what I've been playing. I was having a lot of fun with it at the beginning because at the beginning it was easy. And like a nice respite from Final Fantasy 14. It's not like I'm having a bad time, but I've definitely had a couple frustrating episodes playing it where I was like trying to beat a chapter a day basically, and then I hit some walls. Some
Yeah.
walls, and those were like they were usually taking me like 40 minutes to beat these episodes, and now they're starting to be like a couple hours of of stuff, and I'm having to save. I have like this like it took me a while. I should have done this. This would have saved me actually some time. Is like now because it's like a turn-based like strategy game. Now every time I live through the enemy's turn, like if my guys are like still doing okay through the enemy's turn, I immediately save, and I have like 5 save slots that I cycle through, and I just save over the oldest save slot so that if like
Yeah.
I fuck up and all hell breaks loose, I can just go back 1 or 2 turns
Yeah.
and be able to handle it. I should have been doing that for a while.
Just like hard save scumming, basically.
Yeah, but I am on chapter. I want to say I'm either chapter 11 or chapter 12 of 18 in Valkyria.
Yeah, I was gonna say how
Chronicles.
many there were.
So
Yeah.
it will almost for sure be beaten by next month. And there's some stuff about the game that I've figured out. I did have to look up some strategy for 2 of the episodes when I restarted and shit like that. One of the episodes was supposed to be like, I think it was 10B was supposed to be one of the hardest in the game. And that one I actually was able to, because of my cycle save strategy, didn't actually have too much of a problem on it. Like I would have if I had played it all the way through and lost an hour and a half of my time,
Yeah.
which is basically that save strategy is stopping me from doing. But
So what you're saying is that Heroes of Mana prepared you for this.
yeah, I've been prepared through Final Fantasy Tactics and Heroes of Mana, which Tactics is way more brutal, I guess, because you can't just save like that. But
Right.
yeah, I guess I've had some prep, but it's still going okay. But there was a bitchiness time 2 weeks ago where I was really like,
Yeah.
I was
You and Zach were
real
commiserating,
frustrated.
and then I'm just sitting here like, I haven't even really touched this game in like a month or two. I really need to get on the ball.
Yeah, I have. I don't know, man. Just the things in my life, and like this is kind of the theme of this episode. Is just like I have other goals.
Running out of time.
And when that
Yeah.
fucking Valkyria thing takes more than an hour to do, and I'm getting frustrated, and I fucking die, and I lost that hour, I get pretty fed up.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
You're dying in the game, and then you look
And
at you
then-
look at the calendar, and you realize you're dying in real life.
yeah,
too,
and in
slowly.
in my real life, it's like, I mean, I have things. It's like the problem is like I sometimes like will put off other things for the video
Yes,
game when
yeah.
it should be the opposite.
Yep.
But because the other
Yeah.
thing takes like a different kind of emotional strength, I guess, in the Celeste vein, possibly, to get done, it feels like the video game thing, to start the video game thing seems easier.
Just cut to Joe with like some like garden
Stupid.
snips, and he's trying to like cut his dick and balls
yeah.
off.
So it's not the only thing. It's
No,
like,
Joe doesn't even have like the Celeste vibe to him because he still has like a level of determination. He doesn't seem like he's completely unsure of his like ability to do things at every single step of the way.
okay.
That is
Yeah.
part of it, though. When you lose that time, and you're like, I should be with my family, but instead, I'm
No.
restarting Earthworm Jim again.
I've had like, I mean, throughout this like whole entire thing, it's like, I should be doing this. I should be doing that. There's a lot of things where
Working
like
out.
I should. Yeah.
fucking
Well,
women.
here's the thing. Actually,
I'm playing.
actually,
Sorry,
shut up, A4. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
You are cutting us off 9,000. I've seen you cut off Schweiss like 12 times this episode. And
I get excited. I'm sorry.
You can cut me off all you want because I'll fight for myself, but Schweiss will just let you trample over him.
Yeah. It's my little protector.
He is a cuck. I just did it again. So
Yeah.
No, the working out thing, actually, we talked about this at the Discord. That actually has become my number one priority, and I have not stopped making
Yeah.
that a thing
Mhm.
for a while now.
Which means you need to sleep,
So-
which means you can't play video games all fucking night.
that's
Go to the
true,
bed.
but that does cut off another hour of my day.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
then video games, but then I also have like other priorities that should be higher than video games. And again, I go to the video game instead. So it's like the answer is the thing I should be doing is writing my next movie.
No.
And that becomes like, because writing is kind of a pain, it's like working out. You're just like, oh, fine.
Yeah.
All right, I'll get myself to do this. And then when you're doing it, it feels great. But the actual starting of it always sucks. The
Mhm.
starting of a video game is easy, despite the fact that like it may suck in the middle of it. It's like the opposite thing. So I will just be like, yeah, I should play Valkyria Chronicles. And then like when I die an hour into it and I only told myself I was going to play an hour, there's a part of me that's like, that motherfucking level, I'm going to get it. I'm going to do it. And then I spend the next 3 hours on that fucking game.
Yeah. Mhm.
And it's horrible. But
Yeah.
actually, yeah, the working out I've actually been doing pretty well at, but that does take like another hour off your day.
Yeah. And I don't know about
So-
you, but one of my problems being a fat slob is not getting enough sleep. Because
That's-
your
Mhm.
ability to
Yeah.
say no to fast, disgusting grease food
That's
is
true.
0
Yeah.
if you don't sleep.
That's 100% true.
And
100%
so
true.
you got to work out, but you got to sleep to be able to work out, which means that many more
Mm.
hours not for the game.
All my bad
Mm.
food decision making, it's either been peer pressure or it's been because I did not sleep and
Yeah,
I'm cranky.
exactly.
Yeah, we
and
literally,
I want
uh,
something easy.
we literally peer pressured you for like half a year with that fast food bracket. So
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Jug that out.
Um,
That ruined me.
yeah. I've been playing Valkyria Chronicles, and I've been playing. We just started Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origins 2 nights ago. Schweiss and I, which is way easier than the demo.
Yeah.
Even though I'm pretty sure we set it at the same difficulty level as the demo.
With 3 people that aren't computers.
Yeah,
you
we're
kinda
just like ripping through it. So hopefully the game continues like that because I would not mind something easy right now. The cutscenes are laughable. They're real bad. So it's like,
But is it like
way to make this a
Is it bad-
PS5 exclusive, guys. Way to put your best foot forward, Square Enix. Really.
it's on PS4 as well? Did they?
When did that
they
happen? Sorry, go ahead.
at launch? Are they bad in like a good way? Like
We're
where it's
laughing
kind of like
at it.
schlocky? I mean, yeah,
no,
but like
but it's not self. I don't think it knows how dumb it is.
Yeah, it's like
Okay.
Uwe Boll level of like
It's
laughable.
bad.
because I've heard it's very entertaining in that aspect. That
The-
like it's just dumb as shit.
I mean, Schweiss and I, at least me, when we were in the room, we've watched like 12 of these cutscenes, right? I've been laughing whenever the main character says chaos. Like, there's literally, I'll tell you the opening to this movie, or the opening movie of this video game. You got the 3 warriors of light. They each have like an orb thing that just like shines. And the main guy goes, "You looking for chaos?" And then they're like, "Yeah, we're looking to kill chaos." And then he just like puts his fist forward, and they each fist bump. And this is their first time meeting each other.
Yeah.
This is the first time they see each other. And he's like, "You looking to kill chaos too?" "Yeah, we're looking to kill chaos." "All right."
Fist bump.
Fist bump. And then it just goes on. Like, that's the fucking that's all we get?
I
What the
mean-
fuck is that?
That's backstory right there.
Yeah, that's backstory right there. And then it like switches to like, it gives us a title card for like 3 lines of title cards, and then goes to the next. Oh my god, it's so,
okay, to be fair,
it's so trashy,
that is
dude.
also just the opening to Final Fantasy 1, so it tracks.
I guess.
It's just the opening to Final Fantasy 1 is just like there were 4 guys and they had orbs and they need to kill chaos.
I'm here to kill chaos. Every time
I
Dude,
really do
it's
want to play.
almost it is almost every line that the main guy says chaos.
Yeah, it's
It's
crazy.
This is not a joke. This is not me like this is not hyperbole. It's real. It's so bad.
I really do want to play that. I wanted to get it on PC, but it's only on the Epic Game Store right now. I wanted to wait until it came to Steam, but maybe I'll break. And
You
get it
can't
on
wait
Epic
when
Game
you're
Store
trying to
anyway.
kill chaos.
Yeah,
Because
can't
I went to
wait.
Walmart the other night to get it on PS4. I'd seen the PS4 version at that exact Walmart like a week prior, and then it was just gone. And I asked the lady at the counter, and she's like, "Oh, we only have it for PS5 now." And I'm like, "What the
It's-
fuck?"
It's like you experienced chaos in your life.
I did. I want to kill chaos. God damn it!
Yeah. I understand. I'm on board.
They all want to kill chaos.
I want to kill chaos. That's what I say before I fuck my wife.
Yeah, I say that too.
I'm sure it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bad. But it's kind of fun. It's super easy right now, so I'm sure I'll get my ass handed.
Like
to me
I have
later.
heard, I have heard that it is comparable to Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance in terms of how dumb it is. Like it's very memeable, and that intrigues me a lot, considering one of the games on my Uber list.
You
so,
might enjoy it then.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, we enjoy it for the stupidity so far,
Yeah,
but
that's true. The
I wanna-
areas are cool. Music's cool.
yeah.
So that's your little sneak peek into Ultima Final Fantasy, the Ultimate Final Fantasy podcast. When Schweiss and I will review that game. Fuck, have I played anything else? I guess I tried Beat Saber yesterday. That was fun.
Yeah, it's good.
How'd you
times.
like it?
I suck ass at it, so we'll probably not play it again. But you know,
Oh, it's a shame. It's a good game.
It's a good workout. The campaign, there's some crazy ones where you have to just like shake your arms as much as possible in between hitting the notes because you have to go like a certain amount of distance with the wands. And then there's ones where it's the opposite, where you have to like hit the song but like go almost no distance. There's some pretty
Okay.
fun shit in the campaign. It's a
Alright.
good time.
The
It's a
thing with
really fun
rhythm
game.
games, Joe, is that like, everyone sucks at them when they start, and it's not the kind of game you can just jump into like normal or hard mode without like having played before. Like you're gonna want to start on easy and build your way up.
Yeah, I was.
But you will get better as you play a game like that.
I was chewed out for starting on easy by someone in the room.
Well,
and
They
s-
forget.
my advice would be not to listen to that person when he gives you that kind of chiding, but that's just me.
Okay. And yeah, it was fine. I'm not a big rhythm player fan. I like playing Rock
He's
Band
lead.
when there's
Yeah.
when there's like when there's a big party or something like that. It's a perfect game for
Mhm.
that, so that's fine. But I don't think I would play it on my own, frankly, like Guitar Hero or anything like that.
Yeah, it is a party game. That's almost whenever I play it is when I invite everybody over.
Yeah,
I'll do it for Beat Saber night,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's kind of less of a party game too because you only have one person at a time. Whereas Rock Band, you can have 4, and then whoever's shittiest just gets kicked off, and so you rotate.
Yeah.
Or you get a multiple
What
singers.
the,
Yeah, that too.
What are you playing Beat Saber on? PS4 or like the
PS4.
the Oculus? Okay.
PS5.
Because that
but-
game, well, because PS4, PS5 also has Audica, which is like Beat Saber but with guns, and it's made by Harmonix, who makes Rock Band.
Yeah.
That game's pretty good too. I would recommend that one as well.
Fruit
if you like Beat
Ninja.
Saber.
Fruit Ninja VR is okay. That's the only other VR thing I have. I think we might have bought one more, but oh yeah, and then that Squadron game, the Star Wars game, is fully VR. But I only played that for like half an hour.
It's spooky season. You got to get that Five Nights at Freddy's VR game.
Yeah, is that actually scary?
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. It looks cheesy, so
I mean, it depends on how scared you are of the characters from Five Nights at Freddy's. I think they're creepy, so it works for me.
I don't know. I have a basketball with the bear on it, but that's about all I know. And I thought it was from another game. So
Nope.
yeah.
I like Five Nights at Freddy's though, so I'm kind of biased.
Oh, we played that that Phasmophobia
Rip-off?
Egypt thing. Yeah,
Yeah, it's called Forewarned.
Forewarned.
I was gonna ask what that was.
It's
'Cause I saw it on the Twitch thing before you guys went live.
It's a shittier Phas, but one of the things that it does is really fun is the mummy will like mimic you. And so like I'll turn around and there'll be a guy following me and I'm like, "Oh, okay, it's Joe." And then he'll fucking kill me. And
Oh, so it's like a It Follows kind of thing.
yeah,
almost.
yeah.
Well, for one
Shit.
of them.
It's cheap and it's not as well made as Phas and it's hard because like there's like 8 evidence things you got to fucking click off before you find out what this fucker is.
Okay, we've discovered that Phasmophobia ripoffs are not exactly well designed. I mean, we had to cheese Devour to beat it. So
Yeah, and the new map in Devour. Oh, not Devour. The new map in
Pacify.
Pacify is impossible. So yeah,
that's good.
I mean, the second map was pretty much impossible too, without like
Without a dumpster.
serious planning.
yeah, without a serious chicken bashing and dumpster chucking.
Yeah.
I mean, those games aren't exactly made to be like beaten. Those are just like streamer bait for the most part. So
Yeah, and it's fun though. Forewarned is a fun time. I
Hmm.
don't understand it yet. It's like weird.
Have you won a single one yet?
No,
Oh, okay.
we almost did, but then we didn't. Then we died.
So that's all I've been playing, Schweiss.
I have been up to some Final Fantasy 14. I'm still trying to keep up on my Lev quests because I have to do 1,000 of them, and I have about 670 done, I think. So we're looking at probably another 2 months, and I'm doing it. While I'm doing it, I'm upgrading my crafting. So I'm not just doing the quick turn in and get the credit. I'm like upgrading my shit because when I do the 14 plat for the PS5, if I ever try, I'm going to have some crazy shit on the crafting end. So I'm getting into it. It's kind of fun because now as I increase different classes, I can now make equipment for the other classes of crafting. And so I'm getting better and better. It does take more time that way. There is a thing that I could just buy 99 potions from this bitch and walk like 10 steps and do a Lev quest over and over and over and over and over again, just handing in the potion. And that's a quick way to get 100, just knocked out in like 10 minutes. I did that once, but I don't want to do that anymore just because I know it's all about the build and you got to like build it up. And so I'm making it worth it.
Okay.
I am going as fast as I can within the confines of this though.
Okay.
which is sometimes it's not that fast. So I'll just do like a crafting class. I'll just like go crafting class, and then I'll raise that class to the point where I have to level up my crafting in another class to make that one go further, and then I'll just move on to that one and raise that one up. Because some of the materials, instead of buying it, I'm just crafting it all myself. Even though I have million and a half gil, I'm just doing it myself. And when I hit that wall, I just move on to the next crafting class and level that one up until I hit that one's wall. And so I'm trying to just raise everything up as I go along. And it'll help do collectibles in the PS5 one, which is like when you harvest a really high-quality item. But the more top-notch gear you have and the more top-notch your classes are, the easier that'll be. Yeah, I know it sounds like hell to you, but
It
that's yeah. But that's what I've been
It's
doing.
my definition of hell.
Yeah, 14.
Staying in 14.
Yeah,
You're in this world forever.
pretty much. That's how it feels. But you
He's
can't.
he's just got the "Don't forget you're here forever" poster from Simpsons.
I think that is a hell. It's like I have a toilet, no reading materials, nothing. I'm just in a room with a toilet, and like food is brought to me, and there's a PlayStation. The only thing I have on there is Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah,
That's hell.
and they're like, you have to.
I can almost
100% this game.
I can almost promise you there's people who would be okay with that arrangement, though.
Yeah, I know. That's insane to me.
You have to do every quest, every class, all the way to max.
Or else I don't get
Everything.
out.
Everything, all the trophies,
And they keep
all
on
of it.
releasing expansions.
Yeah. Every time you think you're out, they pull you right back.
you back in.
So I've been doing that. I've been playing Stranger of Paradise with Joe. That was a lot of fun getting into that. I love playing multiplayer, and it's finally nice to have a multiplayer Final Fantasy where you play
Yeah.
with multiple people
Yeah.
all the time
Yeah.
instead of just once every 12 hours or so.
It's
So-
nice.
Refreshing,
Yeah.
refreshing to say the least. And Earthworm Jim. I have been playing that, and also Cuphead. I've been playing Cuphead on the side. I don't know why. I just keep going back to Cuphead. There's something about it. I just keep playing it again. And I'm
Well,
on
you
the
said the Netflix show made you want to watch it, right? Or play it again?
yeah, and then I got to like Island 2 in a night, and now I'm on Island 3. I think I'm on my favorite level is the one that's probably next, the theater one. But I
Yeah.
did find out from my brother-in-law that there is a special ending to one of the early maps where you fight like the potato, the onion, and the carrot. If you don't shoot the onion will be like super happy with you, and he'll go away, and then a radish will pop up, and you have to fight the radish.
I only found out about that like last week or something when I was watching a YouTube video. I had no clue.
Yeah, I found out about it yesterday, so I was like, "Oh, that's crazy! I never thought about that." But yeah, when he comes in, he's not attacking you. So
Yeah. Did you get the DLC at all?
I did. I haven't played it yet, though.
I haven't gotten it, but I want to play it.
I paid. That's one of the big reasons why I bought it again on PlayStation, is to get the DLC. Plus, I wanted to play it on a real console, So since I only own it on that
On
Switch,
that toy.
yeah.
Well, you enjoy playing it on your toy of a PlayStation. I have it on PC, which is the realest console. So
Yeah, I bet you my PS5 is better than your PC.
I
It might not be.
bet
though.
it's not.
It might not be. It's definitely better than my old PC, but mine was
Well, yeah.
made in 2012, so
Yeah, I think my old PC was better than your old PC. at that
probably.
point.
I think that's it, though. I honestly, I know that's like 4 games, but I haven't been playing a whole lot.
Well, we know what everybody's been playing. But did any of the hosts beat game?
Aver.
What's the last thing you have for me? Kill It With Fire?
Devil Balls 3, and then Mosaic Balls.
Oh,
and
Devil
Splash
May Cry.
Balls.
Okay. Okay, so it's Devil May Cry 3. All right. So I have beaten Earthworm Jim. I have beaten Kill It With Fire, which is this game where you're killing spiders.
Fireballs.
And I have beaten Mosaic Neku Waifus 4.
Oh my god.
That's the last one of those that I have. So
Jesus.
yeah, well, They were like $1.50 each. So what do you want? One thing I did
Like a
forget to mention that
soda?
one thing that I did forget to mention that I have been playing, which is going to tie into a bunch of games I've beaten, is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Cowabunga collection, which is a bunch of the old Ninja Turtles games by Konami. And it's pretty
Nice.
great. It's even got like a little built-in strategy guide that like shows you little tips and tricks, and you can like actually go to the image on the little thing, and it'll pull up a video showing you how to do what they're telling you.
Oh, nice.
But because of that, I've also beaten Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for the arcade. I have beaten Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Fall of the Foot Clan for the Game Boy.
You should probably put TMNT.
And I've also beaten Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 Back from the Sewers for the Game Boy.
Okay.
All right.
Wow, that's a lot, dude.
Uh-huh.
Is that all you've been doing? Is just fucking playing TMNT games and?
I just
hentai?
like because they're like beat 'em ups and like Game Boy games. So I just like if I go take a shit, I take my Steam Deck with me and I just plow through one of those real quick.
Okay.
Nice. There you go. What about you, Joe?
Endwalker, since we're counting those.
Yeah, we certainly are. Endwalker.
What is BFBB?
Battle for Bikini Bottom.
Oh, okay. I was like, what the fuck what is that?
It's been a while for
I don't
you.
know. I don't know if I flipped through the book you guys sent me, the Nude Clan book with like all the stats in it, but I need to do that at some point and see what kind of like dumb fucking like thing like abbreviations Schweiss has put on some of these game titles because I guarantee
I have
They're
no
in there.
idea. I have no idea
Yeah,
what he would have
there's-
done.
There's probably good stuff.
Endwalker, I believe, is it. That thing was a lot of time, like a lot. So feeling like I can breathe a little bit right now. I've got Valkyria Chronicles is a long game, but I'm like kind of 3/4 of the way through it, maybe only half of the way through it. And Stranger Paradise is only like 18 to 25 hours, depending on playstyle. So
Yeah. I'm gonna-
that's kind of nice for a Final Fantasy recently. Jesus.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to platinum it, but,
Okay.
it's even then, it doesn't look like it takes that long, according to the internet.
So that'll be nice.
Yeah, nice, refreshing.
I feel like no one talked about Stranger of Paradise. Like it came and went.
Yeah, there's a reason for that. It's like Type 0. Nobody talked about Type 0.
Except
for the crazy people.
Or 15.
Which is
demo.
weird considering how much people wanted the Gito to come over here. But yeah.
Yeah, and then we saw the truth, and it was horrifying. So,
Do you say that?
yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
So what do we got here? Who's in?
So, for me, I also beat Endwalker and Earthworm Jim.
Nice.
So, King Hog for the host is Afer Extreme with 34 games beaten. I am in second place with 16 games beaten. Joe and Zach are tied in third place with 6 games beaten for the year. 6 games.
Yeah.
And 4 of them are Final Fantasies.
Yep. Sorry. That
Oh, wait, where's
Endwalker-
where's our scenario quests?
Oh,
Post Shadow. Oh, mine's
Post
on there.
Shadowbringers.
Mine's on there.
Oh, where's
So
mine?
Joe is third place
Okay,
with
there
Post
we go.
Shadow.
Oh my,
Shadowbringers.
oh my God, Zach! I know you're not here to. I know you're never going to hear this because you don't listen to the show and you're not here right now. But damn, you need to catch up.
Yeah.
Holy fuck! If you let Joe beat you, that is sad.
Yeah, I mean,
That's right. This is still the hour amount on this list is
pretty high.
Endwalker time and Post Shadowbringers time. I could have beaten like 10 games.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say because I could promise you, Zach is not playing games nearly as long as the ones you're playing. So
No. So
I mean, he's taken how long now to beat Metroid Dread, and that's like a 10-hour game on a casual playthrough, maybe.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for him
That's
to beat
generous, I
Metroid
think.
Dread.
Yeah.
It's on his to-do list on our Trello board,
It
which we're
is.
about to add a bunch of games to, which we should
Zach's
probably...
too busy. Zach's too busy doing a bunch of gay shit, like having a girlfriend and going to conventions. What a loser!
I mean, half of that's true, but I was up there that weekend with Alex. We were doing our we ate at a fucking, what was it? fondue place. If you ever want to see me like in a freakish scenario, it's at a fondue joint. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck's going on here, dude. Like, all right, pick your cheese. I'm like, okay. We picked the cheese, and then it's okay. Here's the shit to dip in the cheese. And I was like, all right, well, what about the meat? Oh yeah, that's later. Then they sent us broth, and then we skewer the meat and we let it cook in the broth for like however long, and then we eat it. And I was like, this is weird. This is too much.
This
Like,
is too much work.
yeah, it was good. It was really good. And then at the end, we have like snacks, and then we dip it in chocolate. It was fucking expensive as fuck, dude. It was $100 straight up
Oh my
for both
God.
of us. Yeah, I was like, oh my God. And I told
For
myself,
fondue.
yeah, I told myself, all right, don't talk about the price. It's our anniversary. And the first thing I do is like, oh my God. I pointed to like $99. I was like, we can't buy drinks. And I was like, oh no, I told myself I wouldn't talk about it. She's like, yeah, but you already did. And I was like, all right, fine, get a drink. We'll get a drink. I'm not going to buy any beer because it's like $10 for a fucking beer. It was crazy high. And I had to pay for parking because it's Salt Lake City. And I had to move my car because it took so long that my parking timer ran out. And I was like, can't extend it. And so I had to drive around to find a place that was nearby to park again and then pay again to park. Yeah.
They didn't have validation at the business.
No, it's you just have to pay for your parking. It's crazy.
You don't know.
I mean,
do you?
What?
It was all worth it because it
I
was
bet-
your
I bet there was.
anniversary. And by your anniversary, I mean your singular happy anniversary to the Schweiss.
That's right. Yeah.
The
With zero
Oh
apostrophe.
Yeah, the Schweiss.
Oh, that drove me nuts. I couldn't believe it when you sent that picture. It said, yeah, there was a sign that they had put up, right?
Yeah.
That said happy anniversary to the Schweiss.
Yeah.
With zero apostrophe at the end.
No extra. So here's technically in this situation with that sentence, it would be the Schweisses.
Yeah.
So you would put an ES at the end of that, which is a lot of S's, to be fair.
It
It
is.
seems wrong, but it's not. It's correct. Happy anniversary to the Schweisses. But I know that what they were probably doing is like, okay, do we put an apostrophe at the end of this? Or no, do we put an apostrophe? And then one person, no, you don't put an apostrophe, you idiots. And then it ended up just being the Schweiss, the singular
Yeah.
Schweiss.
Like, hurry, put it up. They're
Hey,
coming
we
in.
just got a call. We just got a call from someone referring to himself as L Husk, and he said, "Don't even bother putting anything on there. It's just for me." I mean, that him.
Yeah.
That drove me. I couldn't believe that was real, like a professional thing.
Yeah. We
I-
paid those people a lot of money that night to slight me. To slight her.
Couldn't
I
pay
was
him
there.
for an extra couple letters, apparently.
Yeah. How much do I got to pay per plate to get those 2 letters stacked on at the end of my intro there?
Yeah, it's keeping up with the Joneses, not with the Jones. You don't keep up with the Jones,
Yeah, unless you got one Jones, one rich guy.
or who
Look,
calls
Schwa-
himself the Jones.
Yeah. So he's a douche.
Look, Schweiss already has. Schweiss already has enough S's in his last name. Like, if someone has a lisp and they're talking to Schweiss, it's going to sound really
Right.
silly.
Like
Faith.
Happy
we've had
anniversary
this-
to the
ugh.
Thwythe.
We've had this conversation. The thing is, like, part of my work, and honestly, like, I was pretty upset. I used to be really bad with spelling, but grammar's never been an issue with me. So it's always been like the one thing where I'm really strong in and have really good memory on. And since my job and everything like that, I do like every time I write something, I have to go and check the rules on it when I'm ever like unsure of something, or pretty much I check every word that I put out there online. If there's a mess up on it, it's my boss Derek, by the way. It's not me. And so like now I'm just like obsessed with the correct like use of apostrophes and S's, and yeah, that's just like so bad. That what they did was like so bad.
What I like doing though is when I'm referring to myself, just putting the apostrophe at the end, because if it already has an S, you don't have to do apostrophe S. You can just do the apostrophe.
No, it's not. It's more complicated than that.
I know it is.
he-
We've already talked about this. We've
But
we've had a whole conversation about this.
but I like doing that because it's cool. I should demand. I saw someone in the postal like directory, with all the email address. Somebody had the B, the big German B thing, and that's what the double S is supposed to be. It's like it's like a fat
yeah.
B looking deal.
Huh.
I should be like
It's
that's
like a
what it
B with a
needs to
little
be.
curly Q at the bottom.
Yeah, and it doesn't quite connect. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
I should require that and be like, that is wrong. Take it back and make it correct.
I'm
Speaking of
part of a Facebook
speaking of the
group.
Postal.
It's great.
Oh, sorry.
No. No.
I was gonna say, speaking of
No. Go ahead.
Who's gonna talk?
I'm gonna talk, motherfucker. I'm part of a Facebook group. There's a great Facebook group out there, which is oh shit, here comes an S, better add an apostrophe, and that is that is one of my favorite things on Facebook. So
Yeah.
it's just people sending in the use of apostrophe in just the worst ways, and it's really great.
Nice.
And then people get in little arguments on there. Like all the comments will be like, "How is this wrong?" And then people like correcting each other and all this shit just for days, dude. Just for days.
It's content that never goes away.
No, it
Never
doesn't.
gets old.
Because no one knows how to fucking use an apostrophe correctly, or
Yeah.
knows that you put an ES at the end of a fucking last name that ends in an S in
Yeah.
that situation.
And you're referring to multiple people with that
Yes.
last name. Yeah. I don't know. It's so bad that like sometimes I don't even know what's real anymore. You know, you see it so fucked up and I'm like, I used to be really good at that shit too, and now I've just
Well,
become tainted by the world.
You're not writing every day. It's not
That
part of.
too.
It's not part of your thing. You you were when you were in school. Like that was important. but
Yeah.
No
Schweiss
longer
sees that
is.
fucking.
And then you go,
Schweiss
"Is
sees
this how we
the.
do it?"
Schweiss sees the happy anniversary to the Schweiss sign at the fondue place, and he starts having ego death. Like, who am I?
Yeah.
I am the Schweiss. I'm
All
not even
others.
Caleb. I'm the Schweiss. We are the Schweiss.
Yeah. We are. Go ahead. I was done.
5
That's all I
minutes
was gonna
ago, Schweiss mentioned the Postal, and I just wanted to say that I finally watched Uwe Boll's Postal, and it's that gets my seal of approval for sure. That movie's hilarious.
say. Oh, you watched it? Nice.
Yeah, it's great.
Who watched that? Was that? I thought you were part of the show then. Were you gone that day?
No,
No.
I think I was right before I joined. It was after Zach joined, but it was before Cameron left.
Oh, that's right. That was like one of Cameron's last things. And then he just disappeared and never really said anything.
He said stuff.
Yeah, and not on the air. There were people he should have said things to that he didn't. Let's just saying.
All right. Well, we've got a shitload of games to be voted on, so let's get to it.
All right, guys. We have submitted a shit ton of polls on the Twitters. Go check us out at Nude Klein Podcast. Vote for our polls there. Everything as it stands. I'll just burn through them real quick. So we each nominated our own bucket list of games, and then we also went and cleaned out all but like one or two from the Patreon, and just people who need to contact us.
Yeah, we'll have a couple more next month,
Yeah.
but then that'll be it. Basically, that'll be our giant list of games. So next month it'll be interesting. We'll just be able to break them down.
Yeah.
Who's playing what?
Yep. And then we'll know exactly what's what. Yeah.
Mhm.
So as it stands, the polls are
A lot. So hold on, we're scrolling. There we go.
the first one from good friend Kicknick on Patreon, Golden Sun from the Game Boy Advance, Tales of Symphonia, Majora's Mask, and Metroid Prime 3. And that is for Zach and I to play. The next set is A4 and Zach from Reathmus. We got Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne, Shadow Hearts Covenant, Star Ocean The Second Story, and Breath of Fire 4. The next poll is UFF Podcast, myself, and Zach
That's confusing.
via
Yeah.
via DK Asuna. It's Hyrule Warriors, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, The Last of Us, and Sonic 06. Joe and I, Resident Evil Outbreak, Resident Evil Outbreak File 2, XCOM The Enemy Within, and Parasite Eve Third Birthday.
You forgot to mention that is Fringe Philosopher's List.
Yes, thank you, Fringe. And then the next one from Toasty for A4 and Joe, The Quarry, Super Metroid, Danganronpa 2, and Bloodstained.
And then, oh yeah, my bucket list games. These are games that I've always wanted to play. Not happy that we haven't played them on Nude Clan. And so I want to give at least one of these a chance. Doom 64, Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, the original Half-Life, and StarCraft, the original StarCraft, not the new one, newish one.
So my bucket list games, my poll is The World Ends With You, Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, No More Heroes, and Odin Sphere Leaf Thrasher.
Leaf
Thrasher.
Yeah, Leaf Thrasher. That's a good Halloween horror movie. So I have mine as well. Half of these are a joke. The other half are just things I could think of. I honestly should have put Outbreak on there as well, just as a failsafe, but I'd hate to see it lose again. So I have Metal Gear Solid 5, 50 Cent Bulletproof, Lord of the Rings, The Third Age, and Hooters Road Trip as my bucket list games. Games I just wanted to play on the show, but I just have, for one reason or another, been denied over and over.
And are we still waiting for Zach to get back to us?
Yeah, he hasn't gotten back to me
Okay.
yet.
When Zach gets back to us, that will also be on Twitter. And we can talk about it, I guess, more next month. But that is it for this episode, guys. We are ending the show, but look, we're going to play a shitload of games before we do. So
You've probably got
stay tuned for us.
6 more months of Nude Clan
At
at the
least.
very least.
At least, yeah. So, guys, look forward to that. Thank you all who supported us on Patreon for forever. Felicia Nomiko and Xanon, you should have messages annoying you in Discord, but you need to give us your lists. And anybody, again, if you think that you were owed a list of games for us to beat, or you were owed an episode invite, and for some reason we're not informed, either on this episode or through Patreon messages, please get to us via Patreon messages, and we can check into that and make sure that we've got you covered. Other than that, guys, that's it for this episode. At Nude Clan Podcast on Twitter is where you do the polls. And you can join our Discord. Links in the description of this episode. Don't follow me on social media, but you can follow A4.
At A4 Extreme.
Me at UFF Podcast.
And you can follow Zach at BGrigsis on Twitter. And I believe maybe on Instagram too. But that's it, guys. Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you next week with a review of Earthworm Jim.
Until then, live always in the nude.
Walk with your chaos held high.
Fuck chaos.
Yeah!